My father, he was a wrestler. So he wrestled in Lebanon and then eventually came here, found my coach. And then I think by the age of about 15, that's when we started competing in national level. Kids are very resilient. Like even now, I coach kids and you don't have to teach them every technique or every principle. They can just adapt. They're just very receptive. Whereas you get an adult who hasn't done it as well, they're more robotic. Picking something up from a young age, it helps. So what we find with wrestling, a lot of people are doing it to complement something else. So people who come from an AFL background or rugby, they want to get a bit more confidence with that body-to-body contact or that tackling. They're not aspiring to be champions, and I believe the MMA and the jiu-jitsu has kept wrestling afloat.
Welcome back to the Out of Interest podcast, everybody. Funny thing is, it's 2025. We're many pods in. Wairos, the usual guy, put in so many pods back to back. I think we were 7 in 2 weeks.
It's hectic.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And you're jet lagged. I'm not jet lagged. Thankfully, I haven't been traveling for the last month or so. Muzza, how's your 2025 going?
It's continuing from where 2024 left off.
Just
really.
work and travel.
Half-time Melbourne, half-time overseas. Work, travel, family, the usual stuff. But all very, very positive, so can't complain.
Yeah, the reason why I'm bringing up travel again, because our guest, today's guest, has travelled quite a bit. He's been in the Olympics. He's travelled from what I've seen. And Dr. Ali Abdo, how are you, man?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming early as well.
Pleasure.
You came very early. So I think I was the latest one. I came a bit late, right on time. So thank you for coming on. I do have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, I'm just going to break the ice.
My ears?
Yeah. So I get
Is that a common question?
I get creeped out with cauliflower ears.
Yeah,
Right? I get creeped out. It's usually like a sign of don't mess with this guy as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. In today's age, that's exactly it. Yes.
Is there a way of like getting rid of it?
Look, you'd have to do cosmetic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, and I'll bring it back to, back to natural. But I don't think it's something I'd look into.
It's not in your
I think for me,
priorities.
they're badges of honor.
Badges of
badges
honor.
of hard work.
Usually someone has it on one ear. You have it on
Correct. You know what? Not many people ask that question, but yes, that's because I attack on both sides.
both. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
You know, I'm always kind of, left or right.
Right.
Whereas, if it was left side, I'm always attacking that left
And
side.
your wife doesn't mind it?
No. Funny enough, she didn't pick it straight away.
Really?
Nah, I think, maybe in the moment, I don't know. But, some people thought it was a defect, initially, because I got it.
Yeah.
I probably started getting it at the age of 17.
Okay.
Early?
Yeah,
Okay.
very early. Oh, well, I was about 8 years in, but when I ramped it up, that's when I started to get it. And then, just drained it out many times. But because I was training and competing heavily, I just didn't have that time to take a month or 2 months off for it to harden up.
Right.
And I just get bad. I put the e-guards on, but, get that rash,
Yeah.
take it off.
How does it come about?
It's just a constant friction of my ears on the opponent's body.
Uh-huh.
So when you go in there, like when I grab your legs, you've seen a double leg,
Yeah.
and then you use your head to take your center of gravity off, so shifting to the side,
Uh-huh.
And it's a bit like the scrum, with the rugby players.
Rugby, yeah.
Exactly the same.
Does it like affect your hearing?
Sorry?
Does it affect your hearing?
I'm sorry?
You didn't get it all, did you?
I got it the second time.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Seems like someone asked that before. He came ready for that one.
Sorry, I had to get you. But just aesthetics. Just aesthetics.
Just okay.
When it's first coming up, it's very sensitive. So you can't even align your side.
Yeah.
But now they're just like 2 rocks.
So things like sleeping on your pillow, this and that, you don't feel
Pillow's
it at all.
fine. On a hard surface, you
Yeah.
could feel like, something's there. But it's not sore anymore. Like you
Okay.
can touch it, squeeze it, doesn't matter. So it's just aesthetics.
I remember. You were there when we did the live pod with Alex Volkanovski.
Yes.
He made me touch his
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
cauliflower ear.
That's usually a
Oh,
question you get. Can I touch it?
I was creeped out. I was absolutely. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty rock solid.
It's like
Yeah.
you caught me off guard, but I
Yeah.
felt honored that I touched his cauliflower ear. It was an absolute honor.
So wait, when you say it's rock solid, like is it?
Coagulated blood.
Uh-huh.
So poor drainage in the ear.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just fills up, doesn't drain, and then it just kind of solidifies and gets
So it's not
hard.
like tissue or anything like that.
No.
it's just-
They're
okay.
just the cartilage breaks and damages,
Cartilage breaks.
and then it swells up, and the blood just hardens up. So you've got a window when it comes up. You got to put a
Drain
needle
it.
and drain it.
Mm. So where did this passion for wrestling come from?
My father.
He was a wrestler.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. So
Does he have cauliflower ears?
he's got one. Yeah,
Oh.
he's got one. So he wrestled in Lebanon. He started at 17, and then eventually came here. Found my coach, who has passed away last year. But he had a good life. The guy passed away at 92.
Mashallah.
You know.
Not bad.
But yeah, my dad found him in 82 after the Commonwealth. I think during the Commonwealth Games or after, and then and I just used to go and watch him, me and my brother, and then by the age of 5, 6, we just started rolling. Me and my brother just playing, and then eventually by about 9, we started kind of properly training 2-3 times a week, and then early teenage years we started competing, just regional comps, and then I think by the age of about 15, that's when we started competing at national level.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You know, like we've had a number of different fighters over here, different of you know.
Would you
different
consider
categories.
yourself a fighter? Is wrestling a fighter?
Look,
Sorry,
it's
Muzza.
combat. It's combat, but I don't call it. Look, I've got 3 fights. I got 3 matches. I've got 3 bouts.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
got
you're
you.
not physically. A fight is like punches and kicks and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask about the fact that like you see a pretty common trend where people talk about how like building their resistance towards taking a hit, and the fact that like we as non-combatants,
Speak for yourself, Muzza.
yeah,
I go for fights.
of course you do. You go to fix fights. Like you consider the fact that look, you're willingly, knowingly putting yourself in a position where you're going to get hit. And if a person who doesn't do it normally gets into that situation, they can seriously damage themselves. But you, from a young age, have done it so often that your body's now acclimatized to just being able to take a bit of punishment.
Yep.
What's the process of actually being able to do that? To be able to say, okay, well, I know that at the peak level, when I'm an Olympian, I need to be able to take this much punishment.
Yeah.
So how do I ratchet my tolerance up to that level? Because you started very, very young.
I was very young. Like,
Because at that stage, you're not even fully developed. Muscles.
But
this-
kids are very resilient. You know, they're like
Yeah,
cats.
little
You throw
tanks.
them and they just
Yeah.
like even now I coach kids and you don't have to teach them every technique or every principle. They can just adapt. They're just very receptive. So whereas you get an adult who hasn't done it as well, they're more robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think picking something up from a young age, it helps. Yeah, and then I think your question was, how do you know how much? Is that what you?
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, I was very, very fortunate that I had seniors that I trained with. So I was a kid.
Okay.
So I trained with always people older than me. So for me, it's like I knew where the benchmark was. Let's say within the club, and then you compete at a national level. You know where the benchmark is. So you always had something to aim for. And then once you step outside, so, abroad, then that's another ball game. That's a different level, So because we're not here, we don't have the luxury of, training 7 days a week or, full time and with support, financial aid, whereas in overseas, it's like, you know what, we'll sort out your affairs. You just train, and they've got a club in every corner. Yeah. So it's a different environment. So for me, I trained here, I trained overseas. I was exposed to Europeans, to Americans, and I got a sense of where I need to be.
Where do you think the standard is at the best globally, and why? Which country?
Look, it kind of goes in waves, but like Russia's up there technically, and a lot of them come from like Chechnya and Dagestani kind of backgrounds. And then you've got the Americans who recently, started to meddle a bit more because they kind of when I say they phased out a little bit, they're still up there, yeah. And then Japan recently, Japan's like the, they've been, top of the list the last year or two.
Okay.
So all
Japan?
Japan, all eyes on them at the moment, especially that kind of light to middleweight, not middle, probably, welterweight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're doing something that people are, it's getting people's attention.
Talk to us about the discipline, because you said you got it off your dad. So I'm assuming usually dads are very strict,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And then, because I'm thinking he must have been like a proper old school guy, right? Funny enough, on the drive here, I was actually on my phone while driving. Don't do that. But I was on my phone and I came across a post that said Khabib's dad in his gym, he only allowed people to train at the gym with a shaven head,
I saw that.
right?
Yes.
And now it makes sense why every time I see videos of people in his gym, everyone's like
Shaved.
Yeah.
shaven, right?
Yeah.
Not zero, but like they still have hair, the buzz cut.
Yeah.
And he wanted to create this discipline where you only focus on yourself, so you don't try to attract girls and blah blah. You just gotta like look like a banana. So if you're successful, then the girls will come. So don't focus on your image. That's
Yes.
what the image. That's what the message was.
Oh, wow.
Did your dad or anyone have
Not-
a strict
yeah.
discipline routine for you where you had to like do something or be something?
Not something like that per se, but you know, whether you like it or not, you're going to train. You know.
Yeah.
So we were physically taken 3 days a week. You know, until I got to an age where I can just take myself. You know. So you know, there was, and my dad was, you know, he was passionate. You know, he'd watch on. He'd let my coach do his thing. He wouldn't get too involved. But then, you know, when we go home, so you know, I still remember times where you'd be after you pray, you know, you finish, you're still on the ground, and you know, me and my brother side by side. It's like, okay, yeah, you did this, you did that. You know, you should try this, you should try that. You know, it's a bit of a family affair. But you know, I think when it comes to image, you know, yeah, it wasn't too much. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, haircut had to be respectable and you know, no, you know, funky
Mohawk.
hairdos. No, definitely not. You know, so yeah, I think it's just my dad's, I guess, his, you know, I think he knew what it brought, what it meant, like wrestling. Wrestling's like very, I guess if you want to call it a masculine sport, a lot of history. You know, it builds toughness, strength. You know,
Is it popular in Lebanon?
look, it used to be back in the 50s or
Right.
60s. I think the best result they got was a bronze in the heavyweight. And yeah, but not now.
Yeah, because I know like wrestling was also popular in Turkey. Because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Turkish, right? It's
Yeah, yeah.
massive in
Oh,
Turkey.
it's massive, yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know if it's still massive. I don't really
No,
follow
it's
it
still
there.
it's
It
still
is?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Look, they're not showing up on the platform like on the podiums
yeah.
as often, you know. But they're no walkover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still embedded in their culture.
What makes a good wrestler? Where does strength come from?
Oh, look, good center of gravity, good strength. Good strong legs. But it's IQ as well. You know, it's not all about strength. You know, you can get a 100-kilo guy who doesn't know how to wrestle, but might be strong, but you'll be able to technically maneuver him. You know, get him off center. You know, and I've had those kind of what do you want to call it, encounters.
Yeah, yeah.
People want to take you on because you look small and
Yeah.
they look big.
Is it similar to jiu-jitsu?
Different. It's a different purpose. So
Okay.
jiu-jitsu, they're happy to start on the ground. Yeah. So
Okay.
their ultimate goal is to basically lock you up, choke you out, put you in a position where something's going to bust, but you tap out.
Yeah.
Whereas my goal is to take you from standing down. And when I get you down, ultimately I want to pin you, you know, expose you 2 shoulders onto the mat, or I've got to rake up points. And if I get my 10-point advantage, the game's over or the match is over.
How do you get the points?
Oh, look, if I take you down, take the back, that's 2 points. If I expose your shoulders, that's 2 points. Yeah. But if I pick you up and dump you, up to 4 points. A big spectacular throw, like a big suplex, that could be 5 points.
Like a slam on the ground. That's
Where
pretty cool.
you've got to be kind of legs up, head down, or, you know.
How many times have you done that?
5-pointers, maybe once, maybe twice at most.
Right.
But 4-pointers are probably more doable.
Yeah.
Double leg, and then the legs go up, upper half goes down.
It's pretty cool.
And then you have to expose those shoulders on the mat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with the throw.
Technically quite interesting. You're a professional wrestler, and then there's an entire wrestling industry out there.
Amateur.
Amateur.
Yeah, so professional in the sense that the level.
Yes.
Yeah, but unfortunately in amateur, in freestyle wrestling, you can never be, it's never professional.
Okay.
It's always considered amateur.
Amateur.
Yeah, but people like overseas, say whether it be Turkey, Iran, or Russia, America, those guys who are up there, yeah, they are professional in the sense that they are getting funded or, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
So I was going to compare, obviously, the wrestling that you do, which is considered proper, authentic,
Yes.
traditional wrestling, if
Yeah.
you can call it that, to the modern day show that
Yeah.
everyone puts on. Everyone does in the
Yeah.
Netflix and watches
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
WWE. Do you take offense to all that? Do you feel like, you know what, you're making a mockery of the word wrestling? Because as you said, it's something that's traditional,
Yeah.
historic. A lot of people, there's a lot of, even from an Islamic perspective, sunnah, there's a
Yes.
lot of connection to, there's a lot of depth to
Absolutely.
that. And these guys are turning into a bit of a
Theatric.
joke.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I used to look at it and I think, geez, these guys get a lot of publicity, a lot of money,
Heaps.
but mate, society just wants to be entertained,
Yeah.
and freestyle wrestling is not entertaining for the general public. Yeah. So yeah, so it's unfortunate, but you know, I could never steer that way. I used to watch it a little bit, but didn't last long.
So
But in saying that,
yeah.
they are very athletic.
Yes.
You know,
Well, you'd
some
have
more
to
than
be.
others. Yeah, for sure.
Well, they have to be athletic and plus they have to be able to act as well.
Absolutely,
So there's
yeah.
a blend
Yeah.
of two.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most of it's just a bit of fanfare, really. But yeah, it's quite interesting how you know, something as authentic as this can be converted into entertainment.
Absolutely.
So when you're wrestling in the authentic sense, does your mind ever go to the fact that there has to be some entertainment value to what I'm doing? Because respectfully,
Yeah.
if I watch authentic wrestling,
Just two bears hugging each other.
exactly, it's not exactly the most engaging kind of.
Absolutely.
So if you understand and appreciate the technicality of it all,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, okay, I can watch this.
Yeah.
But from an outsider looking in, I'm like, what am I watching here?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I could watch boxing because I know exactly what everyone's doing over here, and
Yeah,
you can
there's
see.
purpose.
Yeah.
He wants to knock him down.
Correct.
Yeah.
So has that ever crossed your mind?
Nah.
No. So
No. For me, I guess I have my own purpose.
okay.
You know, I have my own drive, my own objectives. You know, so for what others think or what other viewer, you know, I remember one time, 2000 Olympics. I don't know if you ever remember Roy and HG during the Olympics.
Remember the Olympics?
Roy and HG, they basically took the piss out of Olympic moments. Okay, so the comedians, and then you know they'd bring up a sport, you know, in the Olympics, and they'll just throw comments, and it'd be funny. I happened to be one of those, you know, and it was like on Channel 7 or something, and I was wrestling the Cuban guy who was like the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. He won that year, so become 2-time, and I was only 19. Yeah, and man, this guy, he was gaining, frequent flyers. I was gaining frequent flyers, you know, really strong. So they took the piss out of that match. But like, I didn't take offense to it. Just a bit of banter, you know. But bad exposure for wrestling. Yeah. When you get the heavyweights who are literally not as agile, it looks like two big bears just hugging and maneuvering, almost dancing. You know what I mean? So it's not as appealing.
That did bear some success to you. You went to the 3 Olympics.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I did the 3 Olympics. Marginally
Sydney,
missed out on
Athens,
and Beijing.
Beijing, yeah. Which one was your favorite country to go to?
Look, I would say the Sydney Olympics was probably the best experience.
Okay.
And obviously being the first time.
You were 19. You were
I was
young.
19, yeah. So it was the biggest spectacle I've ever engaged in or attended to. You know, so and we got a lot of support being Aussies, a lot of exposure. So you know, that's the first time I got a taste of, I guess, not famous, but you know that elite kind of stage. So yeah, and then if you look at, you know, as the years progressed, then I mean Beijing was quite impressive. You know, they when they do something, they do it properly. And if you just have to look at their opening ceremony. You know, I don't know if you remember the drums.
Yeah, it was massive.
Synchronized.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that goes behind, and there's a lot behind that. You know, in terms of discipline and, you know, all the rest of it. But yeah, and you know, I've gone to world championships, so I've travelled other countries, and yeah.
Were you the only Muslim in the Olympics in the Australian
2000,
squad?
I was with Muzza Ilhan, a fellow
Okay.
Turkish brother. So we actually were in the same room.
Okay.
In the 2000 Olympics. So it was a good experience. He was like, I guess, someone I looked up to, because he was one of Australia's best. There was a few that during that era, and he was definitely up there. So He was one, and I think was any others in the Olympics. I think there wasn't many. I may miss it. I know there was in Taekwondo we had Burak Hassan,
Oh yeah.
Jamal Hassan's son.
yeah.
Yeah, he was 2008. So there was a few scattered, and then we
Yeah.
had the female boxer. So there's been a few since then.
Yeah, Tina,
Yeah,
Peter Ball now.
Peter
Yeah,
Ball.
so-
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are there any like racism in the squads? There was a lot.
Nah, look, I don't look. I don't know. Look, me being Middle Eastern, I feel like a bit of an outcast.
Yeah.
And everyone's white and blonde,
Yeah.
the majority. But no, I didn't sense any racism. I didn't feel any of that. You know.
But you said you were an outcast, so
No, that's just no.
Thrown in the corner.
Okay,
who's
no.
this guy?
It was none of that. I mean, I think the you feel the difference as a sport.
Okay.
You know, the swimmers have
Yeah,
this
yeah, they're the rock
location.
stars.
The athletics have that, you
Yeah.
know, and then the wrestlers and the weightlifters are here. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, in terms of racism,
No.
it was pretty good.
Talk to us about caliber, right? So you attend different. You've got your championships. You have your Commonwealth Games. You have your Olympic Games.
Sure.
Where do you find the caliber is the highest? Where is it most competitive?
As in the competition.
Yes.
Oh, look, it has to be the Olympics because what they do is they filter out. They have a quota per continent.
Per continent.
Per
Okay.
continent. Yeah, so you might get 4 out of the Pan American region. You'll get maybe 8 out of Europe, another 6 out of Asia, and only recently, like when I was doing it, it was like you win Oceania, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you qualify. But now they've kind of you win the nationals. Oceania and Africa are now one.
Really?
Yeah. So now you have to place top 2.
Uh-huh.
So the competition, the competition, it becomes a bit more fierce.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's definitely World Championships. You win the nationals, you qualify. There might be 40, 50 guys in your division, but in the Olympics, there's always probably 19 to 20, 21.
Mm.
That's it. So there's no. I'm fortunate to say this, but Australia is probably the weakest draw in there amongst the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so
Makes sense.
What's the perks? I mean, this is probably everyone's favorite topic. Like, what are the perks of being an Olympian? People think you're rolling around in millions of dollars.
nah, far
You're
from
a
it.
celebrity.
Nah,
You got
far from it.
first class flights.
No,
Like,
far from it.
Some I actually even heard a rumor that you get ongoing money until you die or something.
That's probably like somewhere in
countries.
Russia, other
Yeah,
countries.
other
Nah,
countries.
here, it's unfortunately I don't believe it's valued like as an Olympian. Or, you don't get much. Maybe leading up to it, you know, a bit of support, a bit of this, bit of that, but no, after that, just accolades. You
Yeah,
know, you
that's
just,
it.
it's, that's all it is.
I feel like
I
Australia.
don't make money from it. I mean, look, different time back there. Now, social media, yeah.
Mm.
Now I could have got, I would have been able to build a profile, like a
Yeah.
bigger online presence, you know, content and all the rest
Just
of it.
speaking. all
Yeah,
that,
you could do all that. Back then, that wasn't a thing,
Mm.
you know.
There's a lot of talk amongst athletes, that Australian athletes, that Australia doesn't really, how should I say it? They don't show a lot of care towards athletes, Australian athletes.
Yep.
Like even Volk used to complain
Yep.
about. He's like, Australia never, ever
It doesn't
celebrated
celebrate,
me.
yeah.
It's always external countries that celebrate their athletes, the sports even more.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
that's why a lot of them like move overseas. They want to do things overseas. I just feel like Australia doesn't embrace their people, their athletes, their superstars. They don't promote them. They don't do anything with them.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with
Oh,
that?
100%. Like, I don't think we value the athlete
Yeah.
as much, yeah. Unless you're like an AFL superstar, unless you're maybe cricket player or something.
Even then, they still find controversy around, like the NBA player, Paddy Simmons. Ben Simmons. Right, the whole of Australia is talking about what a sport
Yeah.
brat he is.
Yeah.
Right, he's earning bucket loads. But everyone talks about Australia as a sport brat. There's never positivity
Yeah.
towards its own
Well,
nationality.
I don't believe we have a strong sporting culture,
don't.
or like we don't value it as much. You go to Japan,
Yeah,
you know,
embrace
I've
them,
trained
yeah.
in Japan, and man, you got schools where this is non-negotiable. We're doing this. You know, you go to America, it's embedded in their schooling and college culture. Yeah, you go to Europe, same thing. You know, where he's here, it's like, man, it's like, yeah, it's nowhere near. It's completely different, you know, and yeah, it'll take a lot to change.
Yeah.
It's got to change from grassroots. You have some elite schools where, you know, they do have their whole sporting program, and, you know, the kid, you know, trains at school, competes on a weekend through the schooling system. And, you know, but they just got it on a bigger scale overseas.
Like you do a comparison, like Grant Hackett, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Massive. He was massive at the time. And you look at Michael Phelps, he's still lauded in America.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Even though he's been in drugs. Like there's so much controversy around him, but the country still celebrates him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over here, where's Grant Hackett?
Nah.
Wait, like
Thorpe,
it's
Ian
gone.
Thorpe.
Ian Thorpe. Everyone's
Yeah.
gone. Everyone's
No,
just vanished. Kathy Freeman. When was the last time we saw her?
Yeah.
Like we don't celebrate our people. and
We
it doesn't motivate people to go into sport.
You got guys like you can guess, like even Turkey or Russia, you know, if you're a superstar and you've retired, man, they pull you. You're in government. You know, you're with the big boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're very well regarded.
And another example is what's her name? The freestyler the cop a lot of crap.
What, the dancer?
Yeah, the dancer. What was her name?
Ray
Gun.
Yeah.
I think she was a joke, but she brought so much publicity to Australia.
Yes.
And Australia attacked her, like
Yes.
outcasted her.
Yeah, bro.
Right. And out of frustration, she said dumb things, right? And like, even though she was a joke, like the amount of publicity she brought to the Australian, because no one cares about it. When you travel the world, you'd probably know this as well. No one cares about Australia.
Yeah.
Like
We don't
we travel,
exist.
like no one knows us. No one
Yeah.
cares. You're like, oh, in the outback, oh,
Yeah,
we're
absolutely,
just running around kangaroos.
Yeah.
People think that like nobody knows us. And when someone brings a lot of recognition to Australia, the company should embrace that, bring positivity towards it. Like when I bring up Volk, world champion, America embraced him more. Right, he's a brand ambassador for Prime, an American
Wow.
company.
Yeah.
Like Australians don't embrace our people, and I know the kids look at that and be like, "Do I really want to do that? I'd rather fly to America and do something there."
I have a theory around that. I can test it
Here
with
we
you
go.
guys.
Let's
Here we
go.
go. I reckon in this country, we will only ever respect people who have a proper vocation, an actual job. We don't classify sports and athletics as a vocation. So, for example, you look at the States, right? Parents will send their kids specifically to a college that has a very strong NBA program, NFL program, whatever it is, to get those kids to that level, because like this is genuinely a career path.
Yeah.
And then you're considered to be, you are a professional in that specific area. And therefore you are treated like one, celebrated like one, and your career longevity, everything else is based on that. Here, if you're not good at a proper job, then you take the alternative path. And that is, use your body, this and blah, but you can't use your mind, which is so stupid, because people who are very good at athletics, their brains, like for them to be able to tactically do all these things is nuts.
Yeah.
Their discipline, their commitment, their endeavor, their motivation is second to nobody.
Absolutely.
And it's really silly the way we do this, but that's what we tend to find over here. We're more likely to celebrate a professional who comes out of Australia who becomes the biggest star, brain surgeon in the world. Yeah, we'll celebrate that. Somebody who's, like Murdoch, a business entrepreneur, whatever it is, we'll celebrate that. Okay, but if it's if it's an alternative vocation, no.
It's funny you say that, and I've mentioned this in previous, podcasts, and what you just said was funny because I still remember this incident, or not incident, but this moment when I was in year 12, finishing up, and then I crossed paths with this mother. And I must have I think I've spoken to her in Lebanese, and I said, who are you? I said, I'm Ali Abdo. She goes, oh, you're the one that plays sport. I was like, yeah, that's me. And she turns out, you know what she says? She goes, oh, so you're probably good at sport, but you're not good at school. I was like,
There you go.
okay,
There you go.
And
Yeah.
kind of it resonated with what you said,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. But yeah,
Taking what you said to another level, I don't even think we celebrate our businessmen. We even give them a hard time.
Yeah, but if we
Like
give any
Gina
Comparatively,
Reinhart,
comparatively.
Gina Reinhart, the richest Australian, she copped so much slack for saying, I'm not going to leave my wealth to my kids.
Yeah.
There are so many, like Bill Gates also said, it's like, I'm going to leave my wealth to my kids, right? He's still loved.
Yeah,
Like,
Steve Harvey. So many.
I don't understand why we're so critical in Australia. Over everything, anything, we're critical. We just slam. It's unreal.
I don't know. It's something within the culture.
Yeah.
It's tall poppy over
Tall
here.
poppy.
Man.
Massively.
Tall poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
Really
of
is.
jealousy over here, man. And then
Absolutely.
like when you would you ever consider your kids following your route?
Oh, look, I don't expect my kids to become Olympians. You know, I got one boy, two girls, but you know, I expect them to do good at what they engage in. So if my daughter wants to do whatever she does, or whatever my son wants to do it properly. Do it like, you know, in our faith we say do it with ihsan.
Yeah.
You know, so I just you know, I wanna basically teach good work ethic.
Mm.
Yeah, but does he need to be an Olympian or she? Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Just be the best that you
doesn't
can
even
be.
take
That's
you
it.
when you're being an Olympian. You anyway.
Yeah.
It's a waste.
Can we turn this to a technical topic that I've always wanted to ask somebody?
Yeah, sure.
But I'm going to pick your mind about it. In wrestling, right? Because it's all weight division based.
Sure.
You have to go through this process of what is it called? Cutting weight.
Cutting weight, yeah.
Cutting weight. You see videos like this. You're looking at your MMA. I was looking at one of these Dagestani fighters lying over there trying to cut weight
Yeah.
like a corpse. It's scary
Yeah.
as, and his team sitting around him, and I don't know what they're doing emotionally supporting this guy. You see people doing that all the time, and it looks traumatic.
Yeah.
Well, what was he doing?
He's cutting weight.
Cutting weight.
Yes,
While
we're
laying
saying,
down.
That's what
No,
this
no.
gentleman's going to explain to us how this works. Explain to us how cutting weight
Yeah.
works.
So someone like that lying down, he's probably in a sauna suit
Yes.
or a sweatsuit. They've got all the towels around him
Yes.
because they've trapped the heat.
Yeah.
You know, he's
And it looks
exhausted.
scary.
Can't walk. Just literally go, you know, on death's door. You know, and you're sitting down because you've trapped the heat. You're still perspiring. You're still, you know, dropping some weight. But generally, the process is, especially the sports that get to weigh in the day before the event, they're the ones who do the dramatic weight loss or weight cutting. Yeah, but if you're competing, say in 3 hours, and you're the weigh-ins at, you know, within 3-4 hours, you can't afford to lose dramatic weight. Yeah, at most one, maybe two kilos, or liters of fluid. Yeah, so, I mean, I when I was competing, it was always the day before, so I could lose 3 or 4 on the day. The day of the weigh-in.
Tell us how to do this step by step. I
No,
think
no, no.
This is a good investment
what I'm saying.
for us.
No, I don't recommend.
He would not
this.
recommend this.
No, I will not recommend.
That's okay. Just I'm curious.
If you have an event. No, so for me, like if I was cutting weight, like ideally I would like to start maybe 4 to 6 weeks naturally. So tighten up the eating habits, increase volume of training, whatever it might be, reduce calorie a bit. But you're still training, you know. There's days I'm training twice a day, so you still need your calories. Yeah, and as the time got closer to competition, then, you know, you start to... me cutting weight, like using sauna or sweatsuit, probably would only kick in maybe 3 days. I might do it 4, 5 days even before, but I'd still be kind of drinking fluids and not really trying to minimize my fluid intake.
And in those 4 to 5 days, how many kilos can you lose? Or would you on average lose?
See, I'll give you the way I was doing, like I went to America and I got exposed to how they do it, and that's how I was doing it. There's other ways of the way people do it, but I was doing it in a way where, let's say 3 days out of weigh-in, let's say I'm 5 kilos over. So I'll do a training session, and I'll weigh myself beforehand. I've lost 2. Okay? So I'm down 2 kilos from sweating. And then what I'll do is, before my next session, so in the evening, I'll top up no more than a kilo and a half. So if I start my next session, I should be technically anywhere between half a kilo to a kilo less. Okay, I'll train. Same thing, I might lose a kilo and a half to 2. Then I'll put on another kilo. So now automatically I'm in deficit of about, from the start of the day to the end of the day, maybe 2 kilos. Then I'll lose overnight. You lose half to a kilo. Yeah, so now I'm down 2.5, maybe 3. Yeah, so I'll basically do that the last few days. I know how much I can eat. I know how much I can drink. The last few days, or last day, maybe 2, I really reduce the carbs and I reduce the salt. Anything that's going to retain water. Yeah, and then on the day, I might generally on the day of the weigh-in, I might have. I'll try not to leave it more than 2 kilos. Yeah, and then I'll try not to use the sauna. The only I used to use the sauna just literally to get in there, break that sweat, and then put the sweatsuit on.
Okay.
In the sauna, and then I put my hoodie on, my pants on, socks, beanie, sitting there 5 minutes as it's pouring. Then I get out, skip, ride the bike, keep that
Yeah.
flow. Yeah, of the
That'd be
sweat.
tough. Wearing a sweatsuit in the
yeah,
sauna.
Yeah. I try not to stay there too long
Yeah.
while it's on, and then I go out, and then you just keep moving. When you get a bit tired, sit down a bit. But as soon as you start to feel like your sweat's getting cool, boom, get the heart rate up again.
So there's a hack to losing weight. That's what I'm hearing.
Man.
Not a healthy way. Not a healthy hack.
Watch your video of someone cutting weight. Does not look fun.
No.
Far out. It's
Like, you know,
painful.
when you see some people walking and trembling on
Yeah.
to the scale,
Mm.
that happens. Yeah. Like, I've had times where I'd be sitting down waiting for weigh-ins, be exhausted, and the weigh-ins upstairs, and I was like, thinking, how am I going to get upstairs?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I remember seeing it on this. There's a Tyson Fury doco, whatever it was, and they showed him his process of
On
cutting weight.
Netflix.
Yeah, and he's a big boy. So when
yeah.
he's trembling like that, you're like, man, Farah, he's a giant.
Yeah.
And trying to get him, we had people carrying him onto a scale and holding him there. And I'm like, man,
That's not healthy.
it's rough. Because,
That's taxing
yeah.
on the kidneys and
yeah,
yeah.
like what internal damage that's doing to you. It's
But there is a way of losing weight pretty quick. I like it. I'm gonna investigate this.
just to reduce the amount of calories you're eating, you'll be fine.
All right.
reduce the hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah, start trying.
Exactly.
Why'd you
Start
tell
there.
everyone this is coffee, man? So how'd you get the title doctor? Are you like a doctor of wrestling? What's going
I'm
on?
an osteopath by trade.
Right.
Yeah, so I've been an osteo for 15 years, and studied Vic Uni, and
I'm trying to figure out what that is. What's an
osteopathy is like a combination. Like the general public say, you're like a combination of a chiro and a physio. Okay,
Oh.
we're basically manual therapists. Yeah, treating the musculoskeletal system. Yeah, like a mechanic of the human body.
I go to a chiro.
Yes.
I want to
Oh.
ask your feedback.
We have had this debate many a
Okay.
time. So I got an osteo. He goes to a chiro.
I go to
Okay.
chiro.
I reckon my guy's better.
Have you heard of ABC practicing for chiro?
ABC practicing?
Yeah.
No, I
It's a
can't-
different type of chiro.
no. I've heard of Gonstead. You know.
Okay.
That's more legit. Gonstead.
ABC. I don't know about ABC.
ABC
Is-
is new
is-
age.
Is
It's like
chiro
the
legit?
AI of Cairo.
Have a look at it in your free time.
Yeah, I
ABC
will, definitely.
Practicing. Chiro is legit. Is it
Oh,
a legit thing?
they're all trying to achieve the same purpose. Yeah, it's a common goal. Is pain management, pain relief, injury management. You know, everyone's got their different philosophy. Yeah, I'll never say. I used to go to a chiro before I became an osteo. Yeah, and man, he was phenomenal. Yeah, great practitioner. You know, so and you got. It just depends on how you, what your treatment plan's like. You know, and how you attend to a presenting complaint.
Mm.
You know, if I'm just going to put someone down on the table, I'm get tightness here and I'm a bit sore and I get my elbow in there, that's not going to fix the solution.
Mm.
I might feel good symptomatically, temporarily, but you know that's become tight because it's being loaded due to a mechanical cause. There's a mechanical dysfunction somewhere. Let's find it,
Yeah.
and that's what osteopathy is about.
Right. Right.
There's a few things that I've never asked my osteopath because I think he might do something to me on the table. But I'm gonna ask you because it's a safe space.
He's gonna do something on the pod now.
So a couple of things. And I don't know if this is part of your practice, but my guy does a whole raft of things to me. So there's acupuncture. Every now and then you just throw a few needles in random places. I'm like, or whatever. Feels weird. Then there's dry cupping. He has never done wet cupping. I've done wet cupping before elsewhere. I did it overseas, which was not a great idea, but anyway, learn from my mistakes. I think it's in Pakistan.
Wet cupping.
Wet cupping.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more traditional.
Yeah,
over
for
there.
sure.
Leave me if you do in Pakistan, man.
No, the guy was okay. Because I had an ACL reconstruction on my knee, and he's like, for the inflammation, this, that, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
do this, and I get it sunnah, so
Yeah, okay.
everything's fine if it's sunnah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, is it sterile? Is it clean?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
whatever? That's a big consideration there.
Absolutely.
But I had that done. And then there's all this stuff around like your cracking of your joints and all that kind of stuff. And the cracking parts never made sense to me. I was like, it feels good. Like you feel relief and release and all that kind of stuff. What's being released? Like, why is it so important that I need to get a whole heap of weird parts of my neck, back, whatever is cracked? How does the cracking help?
So usually, like a therapist will have a feel of your joints.
Yeah.
You know, and they will feel a sense of resistance or a restriction.
Okay.
Okay, so they want to take that barrier. They're working against the barrier all right, and trying to manipulate. So you're almost, what they say, you're cavitating the joint. So you're opening the joint and it's closing. So what that's doing is releasing some gases, and that's what makes the noise. It's nothing snapping, nothing breaking, no bone on bone, you know. So that depressurizes the joint, okay, and then that softens up the soft tissue around it, okay. But you got to ask yourself, what's loading that joint? Once again, we come back to, is there some sort of muscle imbalance causing a shift in alignment or posture, which is loading that joint and putting a lot of pressure on it?
I always know what the answer to that is.
Yeah.
I have a desk job. I sit in front of a screen all day.
Yeah.
My back, neck, hips, shoulders, everything cops a battering.
So what
That I know.
happens? So what happens there is you're just basically you're creating a muscular imbalance between tight versus weak, and then you stand up, you go and do something physical, and you say, I didn't do much, I just bent over and bang, there goes my back. But that's something that was brewing over time. Yeah. So and that's the reason why I'm really passionate about my job, or I really enjoy my job, is because it's a challenge trying to find where's the cause of the problem. Yeah. It's like a long hose, water hose. You got to find the kink. Where is it? Yeah. A lot of people say, yeah, but the pain's here. It's like, yeah, but the problem's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you been to other therapists? Yes, I have. They've rubbed it. They've put needles. They've done cupping. Is the problem still there? It's like, yeah, it comes back. It's like, okay, well, the problem's not there then. We have to find what's loading that tissue. Yeah. And that's the main drive for what I do.
How does it feel having a title doctor? I've always wanted to. I'll never be a doctor, right?
I don't strut and
You
say,
may one day get an honorary doctorate for something.
I don't strut and say, look, call me doctor. No, I just, Ali, you know.
Is it a flex? Do you enjoy it?
It's a flex. Do
you like it when people call you Dr. Ali? Like, how is it?
No.
Does your wife call you Dr.
I think
Ali?
within the culture,
Yes.
Lebanese background, you know, they always refer to you as the doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah. And it's
Doctor.
like, you know, sometimes a little bit.
It's a flex until on the plane someone's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Who's a doctor?
Yeah, like, yeah,
I'm not that kind of doctor. I'm useless.
Did anything like that happen in public?
No.
Where you were needed?
Nah. Just
Any random babies to deliver heart attacks, resuscitations.
I'm definitely not a doctor. Yeah.
But
So look, osteopaths, chiros, you know, they legally they can use the title doctor, but they have to, in brackets, state what they are, because it could be deceiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to say osteo.
I remember I have a doctor friend. He's a young kid, right? So I'd only imagine the younger generations are more arrogant about the title doctor, and like he's an actual medical doctor, right?
Nice, yeah.
Something, I don't know what the hell it was, but it was some sort of medical thing. And he apparently the medical doctor world, they don't like professors or PhD people that have doctor on the title, because it's deceiving. Like, you're not a medical doctor, why do you have a doctor on your title?
Yes.
Does that bother you? Like, I've come across so many people saying, why do PhD people get a doctor when
But that's
deceiving? People think they're in the medical world and they think they're something, right?
But I thought that's the one time you can use it once you've done your PhD, isn't that the, you know? I mean, I guess, I don't want to offend anyone, but I mean, why is a GP called a doctor?
Okay.
You're a general practitioner.
Practitioner.
Yeah. You know, but I think it's just they've been labelled as doctors forever. You know, but you're a doctor in physics. You're a doctor in mathematics. You know what I mean? So for me, no, it doesn't bother me at all. You've done the hard yards. You know,
I feel like you're being humble.
you can flex.
Being very humble here.
Yeah.
One professional to another. No,
What were some of the odd jobs before you became a doctor? I'm sure you had some odd jobs leading up to becoming a doctor.
Look, I've done throughout my Olympic history, I've always been a university student. So I studied human movement first. I finished a degree in human movement and then did a postgrad in exercise rehab. So in those years, I went to 2000 Olympics. 2004, I got knocked back, or leading into 2004, I got knocked back from osteo, and I went to do a dip in education. You know, I thought maybe PE teacher. Okay. And then, I did part-time, went to the Olympics, 2004, 2008. By that time, I had been accepted, and I was in my 4th year of osteo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 4th year is like a grueling year. So alhamdulillah, I had the support from the uni. They just said, "Go do what you need to do, come back, and then we'll work it out."
Yeah.
And they were very supportive of that. So-
I've got a personal question for you. You
Yeah.
mentioned the word support, right? They always say like behind every successful man is a supportive woman or
Yes.
or whatever the sayings are these days.
Yeah.
How has that gone in your life where you haven't had what most would consider to be a stable, flat line kind of gradual career kind of thing? You've pursued a passion of
Yep.
yours, which was wrestling, and then you've had to obviously I need to pay the bills, I need to actually
Of
have a
course.
job, and I need to
Yeah.
do all that kind of stuff. How do you manage the personal life part of all that, the kids, the wife, the family, and all that kind of stuff?
How do I manage it? Look, it's I've always been kind of if you want to call it macro managing.
Mm-hmm.
Micro, like I don't micromanage my schedule. To some degree, I might, but over the years, I've always had part-time work, a uni student studying, and training. So everything
Full
was
on.
yeah. I was always on schedule. That's where my time, my punctuality, comes into play. Yeah. So for me, it's like throughout those years, I spent 10 plus years at university, and always training and competing. So for me, that's always been an element in my life. Okay. Now I'm no longer competing. Now married, 3 kids. So similar kind of. I'm bringing similar traits, but with a different purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, like training's still a priority, non-negotiable. But now it has to get done in the morning. If it doesn't get done, it's likely not going to get done later on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why? Because no one needs me 6 in the morning. So I'll train, come back. It's either I'll go straight to work, or I've got kids to drop off, and then I go to work. Okay, so for me, after hours, the kids, you want to be, you got to be present. Yeah, you need to be around, and everything needs its hut. So you, your wife, your kids. So I kind of highly regard that, and for me, it's just been something that's been embedded within me for a long time.
Mm.
Yeah, and
How old are your kids?
mine are 8, 7, and almost 5.
Still young.
They're still young. Yeah.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
29.
He's a wrestler, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
How old are you?
How old do you think?
35? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Let's say early
I s-
40s.
Yes, I am. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, I like early 30s, but mid 30s. No, I'm 40. I'm turning 44 in May.
Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
So,
bad.
But you see, by traditional Lebanese standards, you
yeah.
did
So
everything pretty late.
I was old. when
Yeah,
I
I
got
was
married.
going to say that.
Yeah.
So I got married when I was 33.
Yeah, that's quite
That's
late for a
that's
Lebanese man.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
very
that's
late.
for 11. That's old. What are you doing?
What the hell?
And then we did alhamdulillah within the first year of marriage we went Hajj, and then we were blessed with a child. So by 35 I was the father.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And I was like, man, I'm old.
That's
I
very
got-
old.
If I want more kids, we've got to make sure we make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of
I like that. Make it happen.
got to make it
Yeah.
happen.
And it happened.
Yeah, it happened. Alhamdulillah.
Young,
Yeah,
busy
Do
family.
you have a favorite child?
Ah,
Because we're all parents here, right?
yeah. Look, everyone's got a special place in your heart for a different purpose.
And
Yeah?
closer to the girls?
Am I closer? There's in Arabic they call it haniya,
Mm.
which is in how do you translate that? There's I don't know. There's an element of a girl gives you something,
Warmth, maybe.
maybe
Yeah.
warmth, a bit more affection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see it.
Boys are boys.
Mm.
Because I have 2 daughters. Like I told you, I had 2 daughters. They're both
Yeah.
girls.
Yes.
He's both girls. I've always wanted to be a girl dad.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to deal with another me.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I need that love and affection.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah, as a dad, I feel like you want that. Especially when you like have a crazy life, stressful job.
Yes.
Last thing you want to do is deal with another yourself. Like, it's just get the hell out of here, man.
And I think look, you're regardless, you got to raise them both. You got to spend time with both. But I mean, the mother plays a big role too.
Yeah.
Mm.
So but there's girls. I don't know. Look, when there's a boy, you feel like there's duty. You got to make him a man.
Yes.
It's your job. So for me, that's I have that responsibility
Whereas sometimes with girls, you can delegate it more to the mum. And say,
Exactly,
"Look, you know what,
100%. Yeah, they need the more the honey,
That's
the
a-
nurturing.
yeah,
the,
that's a
the
convenient
love.
cop out for me.
Yeah, it's
I was like, you know what,
yeah,
wife,
yeah.
they're yours,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Just come and give him a hug once in a
Yeah,
while.
that's it.
Call it a day. What's the future for you? What's
For
going on?
me, look at the moment.
I think you have a gym, right?
Yeah, so we not a full time dedicated gym,
Okay.
but we do have on average about 70 students, from more kids than adults. Melbourne Wrestling Academy. So
Whereabouts?
it's in Newport.
Newport. okay.
Yeah, so we run 2 days a week there. My brother's a bit more involved, so they do another 3 classes out in Sunshine and another 2 classes out in Gladstone Park. But we want to consolidate that, so that's the plan. The plan is to go under one roof and run our own show.
Mhm.
5 days a week, 6 days a week. Kids, adults. My brother's also brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so he wants to bring that in.
Okay.
Yeah, and just I think for us, it's not about building Olympians. It's about instilling good qualities. That work ethic, the grind, embracing hard work, toughness. Because I feel like today's society is different to
Very
20,
different.
30 years
yeah.
ago.
Very
So
different.
yeah, and I guess that does get a bit under my skin.
Mm.
Different times, I understand that, and you got to adapt a bit, but there's always got to be an element of hard work.
I do want to ask though.
Yes.
Right. Growing up, I started taekwondo when I was 5 years old.
Yep.
I quit when I was around 11, 12.
Uh-huh.
Black belt,
Mhm.
2 dan, right? And I learned a lot of discipline in it. It was crazy. Like the routine. I think at one point it was 5 days a week we used to
Wow.
go. It was full on.
Impressive.
And then I think it dropped down like 3 days
Yeah.
over time. But it created a lot of discipline. Crazy discipline back then.
Yeah.
And I look at taekwondo now. It's almost like everyone becomes a black belt. No matter what you do, you get... It's like a participation award at this
Yeah.
point, right? I'm hoping... would you say that that's accurate in the day and age now? Because let's look at wrestling, your side of things. In the wrestling world, is it similar? I don't know if there's belts or anything in wrestling.
No, that's the
but
beauty about
do you guys give participation awards? Hey, good job for rocking up. Here's a medal.
No. That's the beauty about wrestling. It's raw. It's a bit like amateur boxing. You're not graded.
Okay.
You just go in there and just gotta. You got a benchmark. You got 20 people in the gym. Where do you fit in? Okay, I'm the 10th best. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I need to get up here. I need to work harder.
Okay.
That's simple. You go to a comp, you know where you're at. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, participation awards.
It's a lot now.
Yeah,
It's full on.
And I don't know about. I don't know. I don't know how that works with black belts at 10 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
But do you feel that if you structured it that way, for example, like I send my kids to horse taekwondo, and horse taekwondo is a massive business,
Absolutely,
man. It's
yeah.
humongous.
Yes.
I didn't realize how big it was until I went to my first grading day.
Yes.
These guys book a MSAC, the whole lot, and that's for one little quadrant of Melbourne. I'm like,
Yeah.
you run this across the entire city.
Yeah.
And the money that you guys are making is bonkers.
Yeah.
But the reason why parents like it is because it's like school. You go in, you have a term. In your term, you have 2 sets of assessments. In those assessments, you get a grade, a certificate,
Yes.
an award, a this, a that, blah, blah. And that's why people do it. So in your case, for example, you get people who are either from the background or sort of diehard wrestling fanatics, parents like it, whatever it is, or kids are aligned to it. And it has a certain appeal. But for people who it's like, you know what, I want my kid to go out there and do something physical and get off their screen or,
Yes.
stimulate their brain or whatever it is. If it's not structured like a school curriculum,
Absolutely.
it's hard to sell.
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
one reason why we've toyed with the idea of having like they call them rash guards.
Yes.
And maybe have a
Coloured.
color system.
Yes.
Maybe tie it in with the jiu-jitsu, no-gi kind of color system, because you still want to give that child a sense of achievement.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm not giving it to you just because you've been coming 20 sessions. I'm giving it to you because of your effort.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you because you've gone from, point A to point B. So they have to. You still want them to work for it. But I definitely agree with that. There needs to be, I believe, some element of structure and, give them something to work towards.
Yeah.
Because in Australia, there's not a wrestling competition every week or every month. Yeah. So if there was, at least it gives them something to work towards. But I think that system of, say, a rash guard colour system, that could be a bit more rewarding.
It's very hard for a parent to say, okay, well, you know what, my kid, when he walked into the gym, was at this level. Now they're technically at that level. And you're like, but I've got nothing to show for that.
Yeah.
You know how parents are. They like to fill up a trophy cabinet. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I've got little trophies, little gimmicks, little gadgets, whatever it is. These days, that's how we are. We're
Yeah,
very,
absolutely.
I don't know, almost materialistic in that
Yeah,
way. We
yeah.
like to collect these little things.
Sure.
If you're not able to give that or show that, then people are like, okay, well, to what
What
end?
am I? Yeah. What
I
am
sent
I
my
gonna-
kid, I paid a fee.
Yes.
You're, grappled on the ground,
Yeah.
and you sent him back home.
So what we find with wrestling, a lot of people are doing it to complement something else. So people who come from, say, an AFL background or
Okay.
rugby, they want to learn, they want to get a bit more confidence with that body-to-body contact
Okay.
or that tackling, So we have students that come from that background. They're not aspiring to be,
Yeah.
champions. And then you got a lot of people, and I believe the MMA and the jiu-jitsu has kept wrestling afloat. Yeah. So people who are crossing over or need to or want to learn wrestling for no-gi jiu-jitsu, there's a big market for that. Yeah. So the percentage of those who want to compete and get to the Olympics is much less than those who are using it to complement something.
Okay.
I think, it's a different market, I think. Because
Yeah.
Taekwondo, like, back in the days, it was, like, very strict.
Yeah.
It was like, you mess up once in the grading, you got to start again. It was brutal.
Not now.
Brutal. Now, you could mess up as many times as you want.
Yeah.
You still get parts because they make money off it.
Yeah,
It's commercialized because as they
Absolutely.
get promoted, they make more money.
Yeah.
They sell the belt, they sell more gear, they sell this, they sell that. They want to add that sense of thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
And something like wrestling, it's like it's more mature, I think, by the looks of it. It's almost like, as you said, it's complements something. So you go there, mature, you just want to learn a skill, develop a skill, that discipline and whatnot. Because Taekwondo in this day, I don't even know if it does discipline anymore. Because you
been
just
watered
rock
down.
up and you get your awards. It's, I don't know. Like, I've seen it. It was actually last week. I went to one of the shops and Halls Taekwondo, they always have a little thing at the shopping
Pop-up,
centers,
yeah.
pop-ups. And they had 3 black belt, 2 girls, 1 boy. And they were demonstrating their skill, their black belt skill. And I'm looking at it, so sloppy. The way they stand, the fluidity, it was like non-existent. Because, again, when I started at 5 years old, it was extremely strict. Like, you rock up in time, early. There used to be times, right? Training starts, let's say it was like 11 a.m. You got to rock up at 10 a.m. Right? Be there, ready, dressed up, sitting on the floor, disciplined. Now, it's almost like, after school, let's have fun. All the mums meet up. How's it going? Gossip session. Hey, look at good job, Timmy. You get your yellow belt, right? I think, I don't know, man.
It comes back to culture, I reckon.
Yeah.
I went to just my last comeback. I went and trained in couple of weeks in Japan, and man, how punctual and the etiquette of the gym, and how they respect the coach. Like they might be
Unreal,
playing, or keepings off with the soccer ball. As soon as that coach walks into the gym,
The respect.
stops. Poof, everyone lines up. They know he goes into his office. They're waiting for him to. They're waiting for him to come to address him. Boom, he walks out. Bang.
Yeah.
It's I love that. That's how we grew up. We grew up. Don't put music when you're training. Why are you talking? Why are you laughing for? What's funny? You know what I mean? You don't want to be too extreme, but you don't want to be too lax.
Yeah.
I run kids classes, and man, they give you anxiety. Man,
Yeah. It's full
you
on.
come here. It's like, man,
Bunch of ADHD kids running around.
yeah, it's full on. It's full on. Yeah.
Like people used to send their kids, like dad sent us to Taekwondo for discipline.
Yes.
It was genuinely, the purpose was discipline.
Yeah.
The purpose wasn't to get black belt.
Yeah.
It was discipline, right? You have a structure, you're there in formation,
Yeah.
almost like a soldier, right?
Yeah.
You're learning discipline,
For sure.
right? And now it's not about the discipline. It's genuinely just,
Well, I think now it's 2 things. Number one, it's a form of childcare.
Yes.
get rid of the
So
kids.
get the
Absolutely.
kids go there.
Yeah.
And I think number 2 is just get them off their screen.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
So many kids are just dying behind social media and screens 24/7. Like, you know what? Even if it's some fictitious activity and you're just kicking and punching thin air, just go do that. It's
Yeah.
better for you than just
Yeah.
That's what we're, I guess, pardon the pun, but that's what we're grappling with.
yeah.
Yeah. I think, the whole attention span is less because of this. So as coaches, it becomes more challenging.
Yeah.
Mate, it's a sigh of breath there when I start the adults class.
Mm.
Yeah, because I don't have to repeat myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to yell.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, I just have to motivate. I have to, you know what I mean?
And the funny thing is, like, back in the days, if the kids were running muck, the master, what the hell they were called, had that power to actually get rid of that kid.
Yeah.
Like, you're no longer welcome here. The amount of kids I've seen get kicked out is unreal. I don't think you could get rid of anyone right now.
No, you
It's
can't.
like
No.
anyone that was running muck, that wasn't developing in time, it was like, you're not
Yeah,
fit
yeah.
for here, get out of
Yeah.
here. Right? Because that influences the other kids.
Yes.
Like, everything was perfection, right? And you can't have a rotten egg because otherwise the other kids were going to
Others
see that and
rubs
start
off.
slacking off.
Absolutely.
It was absolutely unreal. And that's the problem with society right now. Like, we're okay with mediocrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, it's unreal.
different times, different challenges. You know,
Mm.
we have to adapt. We have to change our ways. Like they say, you can't raise a kid today like you were raised 20, 30 years ago.
Mm.
You got to change your ways.
Yeah,
You know,
it's unfortunate.
it is.
What belt are your kids now?
I think it's yellow something, yellow white stripes,
Yeah.
some stripe. I don't know.
Is it Taekwondo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I'm looking at getting my girls into Taekwondo
Mm.
just for the
Self defense a little bit, and
self defense, a bit of discipline.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, being active.
Yeah. No, Taekwondo is good though.
Mm.
If it's done well, it creates
Yeah.
a really clean discipline
for
structure.
me, like as a businessman going in looking at that, I'm like, hey, this business is cool.
Business is
man.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Business is good.
amount of money you can make.
Yeah, it's good
Jeez,
money.
and he did exactly what you're talking about. One guy went to the Olympics. I don't even know what medal he won or
Yeah.
didn't win or
Probably
whatever
didn't win
it is.
anything.
I don't know, don't care. But there is an entire montage in his honor. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. This guy is a massive celebrity. I was
Yeah.
like, man, you are making a lot of money here, bro. This is amazing. And parents are just, and it's every culture. Asians, Indians, Aussies,
Yeah, absolutely.
everyone,
Absolutely.
everyone is like universally accepted. Go in. It's like if you're not doing that with your kids, you're not an up to date parent. You're not hip and cool parent. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go. So, I mean, it's
Yeah,
nuts.
absolutely.
It's good business, man.
Oh,
No, it
mate.
is.
It's
And,
good
and you
business.
have to pay the fees, and then you have to pay for grading. So
Yes.
that little
Yeah.
MSAC show that he puts on, you got to pay extra money for that,
Yeah.
and you got to pay extra money to get your butt on the seat.
Wow.
I'm like, even to watch my kid, I got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Who's going to turn up? Parents, grandparents. Some people turn up there with the entire tribe. I was like, what are you paid?
Yeah.
$400 over here. You could have gone to the theater and watched
Yeah,
something, man. You could see
yeah,
a bunch of kids
yeah,
watching.
yeah.
It's unreal
Yeah,
how much
it's
money
good
these guys
business.
make.
They've got their model. And I
Yeah,
think
they've commercialised it really well. I'll give them
absolutely.
kudos for that.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, seems like they're bringing the numbers.
Oh, they make more money than schools do. And people are like, oh, set up a school. I said, no, you're kidding me. Set this thing up. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because back then, like my instructors, they had a real job. So the like at night time was like the side gig of becoming an
Yes.
instructor. So the original one was his life was dedicated to this,
Uh-huh.
right? And then something happened with him. He got locked up in prison, so I had to change.
Okay.
he actually inappropriately touched one of the students. No lie. So he got banned from instructing.
Damn.
It was crazy, but he was a solid instructor. It was very strict.
Wow.
Again, different era. Like, not
Different
today,
era.
man.
Not today.
You can't do it anymore. So you can't do
Today
it.
you have to have a working with children's
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I changed schools because I had to. And then like his original job, like his full-time gig was a police officer. So he brought his police officer strictness to there, and it was like it was crazy discipline, man.
Yeah.
But it was good. I learned a lot, man.
Yeah.
From these athletic stuff, you learn a lot.
There's
You
a
learn
cop who was touching kids. That's sus, man. Charlie, come on.
Damn.
It was unreal. But hey, look, Ali, any last messages to the world you want to give?
No words of wisdom. Just embrace healthy living and find your purpose and be of value.
Yeah. What's your purpose in life?
My purpose in life is to raise good kids,
Mm-hmm.
good citizens.
That contribute to society.
That contribute
yeah.
to society. And just fulfill my obligation in life, which
No.
is father, osteopath, husband.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Ali. Thank you so much for coming on. Really
Thanks,
do appreciate it.
thanks,
It's been a good
thanks.
chat.
Thanks for
I've
having me.
never spoken to anyone about wrestling, so this is the first.
Yeah.
You want to touch my ear? No.
He's petrified, man.
I touched Alex's and
Yeah.
that creeped me. I quickly was like, I can't
Yeah,
do it, man.
you tried.
I don't know what I'm touching at that point. But look, thank you for coming on.
Nah,
thank you
thanks for having me, man.
for your insight. Really do appreciate it. Give a shout out to your gym again, if you don't mind.
Melbourne Wrestling Academy. And and Everseen Osteopathy.
Yeah. Go hard. Visit him up.
That's it.
Go wrestle bunch of guys, girls. Do you do girls? Or is it just guys?
We are currently in Newport, just boys.
Just the dudes.
Yeah. The other gyms, they're not our gyms. So yeah, it's mixed. But currently I'm just coaching out of Newport at the
All
moment.
right.
It's a very touchy feel sport. So
Yeah.
Very
A
careful.
lot of touching going on. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've been touched a lot weirdly. But let's not get my old instructor into wrestling.
yeah.
But thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you guys did, give us a like, subscribe, give us a comment as well, and appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one.